ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतस् चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आविश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। आप सभी का स्वागत है आज के
We welcome all of you to today's class on Bhagavad Gita. We are studying
अध्याय का 29वां श्लोक।
third chapter, verse 29 onwards.
कहा था
In the previous verse, Bhagavan said
अहंकार के कारण विमूढ़ है
that the person who is deluded by egoic identification,
कर्ता हमिति मन्यते अपने को कर्ता मानता है।
he considers himself as the
जो
doer.
तत्ववेत्ता है वो समझता है कि गुण और कर्म का विभाग क्या है और आत्मा
But
कैसे
one
हो
who
सकता
understands Tattva,
है। इसलिए
he understands how Atma is different from matter.
तो यहाँ प्रश्न उठता है कि
So here the question arises
विमूढ़ आत्मा है
that one who is ignorant,
ज्ञानी किस प्रकार से ठीक रास्ते पर लाए।
how can a wise person bring him on the right path? What is the duty of a Tattvavetta, one who knows the truth?
चलता रहेगा
Because one who is the Jnani, his life will move ahead with his knowledge.
नहीं है चारा नहीं है। लेकिन जो समझदार व्यक्ति है जो वेत्ता है
one who is
वो उस प्रकार
knowledgeable,
से
one who
समझदार है।
understands the truth, how can he
उसके
help
लिए भगवान
a person who is not wise?
सलाह देते हैं।
So for that, Bhagwan is
प्रकृति
recommending here.
सज्जनते गुण कर्मसु तान कृत्स्न विदो मंदान कृत्स्न विन्न विचालयेत। प्रकृति के गुणों से मोहित होकर मनुष्य
Translation: being deluded by the gunas of Prakriti, people become attached to the senses and their functions. A person in perfect wisdom should not disturb the minds of those who are unaware and of unawakened intellect.
तो यहाँ ये सलाह देते हैं जो उन्होंने पहले भी कहा था ना,
So here he is giving a recommendation, what he had told earlier also.
उसी बात को थोड़ा दूसरे प्रकार से यहाँ फिर कहते हैं
Same point he is repeating in the different way,
कि बुद्धि को विचलित ना करें।
that we should not disturb the intelligence of
वहाँ
such
उन्होंने कहा
people.
था कि उनको
Earlier he
कर्म
had
में
said
लगाए,
that we should engage them in karma.
विद्वान युक्त समाज। यहाँ थोड़ा एक स्तर
Here
नीचे आकर भगवान
he is
बोलते हैं
coming
काम
one
में
step
नहीं
down
लगा सकते,
and he is speaking
तो कम से कम उनको
that even if you cannot engage them in karma, at least do not disturb them,
समस्या
because
पैदा
this
करता है समाज में।
gives rise to a major problem in society when you disturb somebody.
इसका मूल कारण क्या है?
And what is the main reason
कारण ये
behind
है
that?
कि
The main reason
अगर
is
किसी को बदल नहीं सकते,
actually we cannot change anybody.
ये एक हमारे अंदर बहुत भ्रम रहता है कि हम पूरी दुनिया को
We
बदल देंगे,
have this illusion that we will change this world, we will do this or that.
वो अति दुरतिक्रम है।
It
किसी को
is
अपना स्वभाव छोड़कर दूसरा
giving
व्यक्ति
up
अपना स्वभाव
swabhava
बदलेगा,
and doing something else is very
इस
difficult.
बात को आगे कहेंगे।
Bhagavan will also speak about this,
विज्ञ व्यक्ति भी, विद्वान व्यक्ति भी
that
अपने स्वभाव के अनुसार
even an
काम
intelligent
करता है,
person works according to
क्योंकि
his
हमारे पास और
swabhava,
कोई
because
विकल्प नहीं है।
we do not have any other
कंप्यूटर में
choice.
जो सॉफ्टवेयर है उसी के अनुसार
Like
कंप्यूटर
in
चलता है,
computer there is software, so
उसके
the
अलावा
computer
और कुछ नहीं
functions
है।
according to the software. The computer does not have any other option.
तो हमारा स्वभाव है,
Similarly,
हमारे
the
जो
swabhava
संस्कार
that
हैं,
we have inside, the samskaras, the
तो उनके
vasanas,
अनुसार हम चलते हैं।
we function according to them
इसलिए
only.
विचलित आप किसी को कर देंगे थोड़ा प्रभाव,
So if you
उसका
disturb
स्वभाव एक
somebody,
होता प्रभाव,
one is
तो
swabhava,
आप
one's
उसको
nature, and other is influence, that is
समझना
prabhav. So you can try to influence
उसको
somebody,
प्रभावित करते
that
हैं,
is possible because we do
इसका
influence each
मतलब है
other,
कि हमारा स्वभाव
but
बदल गया।
being influenced does not mean that our swabhava also will
तो
change.
इसलिए भगवान यहाँ फिर
That is
कहते हैं
why
कि उसको
here
विचलित ना
Bhagavan is
करें।
also saying
पहले भी कहा था
that
ना
do not
बुद्धि भेद,
disturb that
बुद्धि
person.
भेद करने का मतलब भी उनको
Earlier
विचलित
also
नहीं
he
करना,
had said do not do buddhi bhed, means do not disturb other
क्योंकि जो
people,
विचलित हो जाएगा थोड़े
because
से वो
one who will be
कुछ समय
disturbed
के लिए आपके प्रभाव में
for
आ
some
जाएगा,
time, he will be under your
स्वभाव
influence and
या स्वभाव से
he will
कार्य करने लगेगा,
function against
तो
his
कुछ देर बाद
swabhava.
उसका स्वभाव
But
उसको
after some
वापस
time,
खींच लाएगा।
his swabhava will bring him
जैसे
back.
रबर बैंड को आप खींच दें,
It's like
तो जितनी
stretching an
देर तक आप
elastic
उसको
rubber
पकड़े
band.
रखेंगे उतनी देर तक
As
वो
long
आपका
as you keep it
स्वभाव
stretched, it will be
उसमें
appear
बना
long.
रहेगा।
If you release it, it will come back
तो
to its
स्वभाव
original
इसी
state.
प्रकार से है,
So Swabhava works like that.
तो उसको आप थोड़ा खींच सकते हैं, थोड़ा स्ट्रेच कर सकते हैं,
You
लेकिन
can try to
फिर
stretch
से
it,
वो सामान्य
but
स्थिति में
then
आ
it will
जाएगा।
come back to its original
और अगर
state.
उसने अपना पूर्व का जो एक उसकी अवस्थिति है उसको छोड़ दिया, किसी दूसरी स्थिति में चला गया,
And if he has left his original state and comes back to a new position,
निर्णय लेना
then
पड़ेगा,
for going back to the original
दूसरी
state, he will
स्थिति में
have to
वहीं
take
रहना
decisions.
पड़ेगा जहाँ पहले था।
Otherwise, whatever new position he has taken up,
तो
in that new
यहाँ
position, he will do what he was doing earlier. So in spiritual circles, we see this kind of fall down,
मिथ्याचार, भ्रष्टाचार
and then
बहुत अधिक
hypocrisy
होता है,
and corruption spreads
इससे
in
युक्त
spiritual
रहने के लिए कह
circles.
रहे हैं ये।
So for that reason, Bhagavan
तो
is
इस प्रकार
speaking
से
here
हमें
that how
कार्य करना है।
we should
श्री विश्वनाथ
function.
चक्रवर्ती जी एक बहुत अच्छा
Sri
उदाहरण देते
Vishwanath
हैं
Chakravarti Thakur gives an excellent example
जैसे
in this
किसी के ऊपर
regard.
भूत आ
He
गया,
says,
भूतावेश,
suppose somebody is haunted by a
भूत ने
ghost.
उसको पकड़ लिया है, तो जिस भूत ने एक सामान्य व्यक्ति को पकड़ा है वो सामान्य व्यक्ति अब अपने आप को भूत
If
समझता
an
है,
ordinary person is haunted by a ghost, that ordinary person starts thinking himself as a ghost and starts functioning
अपना स्वभाव
according to
स्वभाव
the
लेता है।
order of the ghost.
जैसे
He
आप
gives up
गाड़ी
his
चलाते हैं
original
तो
nature.
आप गाड़ी से हटा के ड्राइवर की सीट पर बैठ जाए,
Like if you are driving
वाहन ले जाए,
and somebody
आपका कोई
displaces
स्वभाव
you
है,
from your driver's seat and starts
आपने
driving,
हटा दिया तो
then you will reach wherever that driver is
ये
taking you.
शरीर है कि
Similarly,
और इसके आप इस समय
we are inside this
मालिक
body,
हैं, यानी कि
and
प्रभु दिया हुआ है,
as of
आप
now,
प्रभु ही हैं
we
इस
are
शरीर के।
owning this body in a sense, not actually, because actually owner is Bhagavan only, but still we are inside this body.
और हम हमारे स्वभाव हमारी इच्छा के अनुसार ये चलता है, लेकिन जब
And this
भूत
body is functioning according to our
तो
Swabhava.
उसकी इच्छा
But
के
when the
अनुसार
ghost
चलता है।
enters and takes control of the body, then the ghost
स्वभाविष्ट
operates
व्यक्ति
it.
को आप कहें कि नहीं नहीं आप भूत नहीं हैं, आप तो रामदास
So
हैं,
somebody who has been possessed by a ghost,
तो क्या उसका भूत उतर जाएगा ऐसे कहने से?
if you just tell him that no, no, you are not a ghost, you are Ramdas,
भूत नहीं
do
है,
you think
रामदास
he
जी
will leave it?
क्यों कर रहे हैं?
No matter how much you tell him, no, no, you are not a ghost, you are Ramdas, still the ghost won't leave
और
him.
हम अभी इस
So
प्रकृति से
similarly,
मूढ़ हैं, प्रकृति गुण सम्मूढ़ा,
we are
प्रकृति के जो गुण हैं,
bewildered by the gunas of Prakriti currently.
इंद्रिय,
Our body, our
बुद्धि,
senses, our intelligence, our mind,
अहंकार,
our ahankar,
प्राणवायु,
our
ये सब
prana,
प्रकृति का ही है, प्रकृति के
everything
गुणों का ही
belongs to Prakriti, the gunas of
उन्हीं
Prakriti,
से हम चल रहे हैं।
and we are
तो ऐसे
functioning
समझो जैसे
with
कोई
that only.
व्यक्ति एक भूत है
So you can just take
और
it, assume it like a
भूत से
ghost,
आविष्ट हो गए हैं।
and
वहाँ तो भूत किसी को पकड़ता है, यहाँ
we
हमने
have
इसको
been possessed by it. Here,
लिया है।
we only have are holding on to the
तो
ghost.
अब हम इसको समझ रहे हैं कि मैं शरीर हूँ, हमारे इसी को
So we are
देहाध्यास भी
assuming
बोलते हैं।
that we are this body. This is called adhyas.
देहाध्यास है,
So we have this
और हम इसको
dehadhyas,
शरीर मान रहे हैं।
superimposition of the
आप
body.
उसको जितना मर्जी
We
कहिए आप
are
शरीर नहीं है,
we
शरीर
consider
नहीं है, शरीर
ourselves
नहीं है,
as
शरीर
body.
नहीं है।
No matter how much you tell somebody you are not the
इसका
body,
मतलब है
do you think
जो इस
anybody
भारत में
changes?
है, इतने 20 वर्षों से आप यही सुनते आ रहे हैं ना कि
All
मैं
of you
शरीर
have
नहीं
this
हूँ,
experience
मैं
since
शरीर
you
नहीं हूँ।
started your spiritual life. You heard so many
क्या
times
कहते
you are
हैं कि
not
मैं
this body. But when it comes
मैं
to
शरीर चक्कर आता है,
practically working, then we work, we do whatever the body forces us to do.
तो
Do we
इसलिए
do anything else? No.
कहते हैं कि उससे होता नहीं।
So that's why
आप
here
जितना
he's
मर्जी
saying
किसी को आप जाके बोल
it is
दीजिए
of no use. So no matter how much you tell somebody,
शुद्ध मुक्त
you are not this body, you are the Atma,
आनंद
you are
स्वरूप
Nitya Shuddha Buddha Atma, you are Ananda
सत्य
Swarup,
पदार्थ हो, तो उससे क्या
you
होगा?
are
केवल वही
conscious
जो शरीर है,
particle.
तो
So
उस
what?
देह
That
से
person will do whatever the
उस देह
body
से जाके
forces him to do.
ये सभी का अनुभव है।
So just by
तो
lecturing,
भगवान उसी को
one's
कहते हैं कि
attachment does
इस
not
चीज
go
को
away.
मत करो,
Everybody has this experience. That's why one is telling do not
आगे
disturb that person.
तो उस
Rather,
व्यक्ति को
engage him
जैसे
in
किसी को भूत
karma.
का आवेश हो गया तो उसको
So like
निकाल
if somebody is possessed by a
भूत
ghost,
उतारते हैं,
then you have to
उसकी
call
दवाई
some
देते हैं।
expert and he recites
तो
some
इसी
mantras, he
तरह
gives some
बात नहीं
medicine.
है ये कि
So
उसको
similarly, here you have to
जो
give
कर्म है उसको करना
medicine.
है,
And what is
उससे
that?
उसका
That is
कर्म
to engage him in his
निकल जाएगा,
prescribed karma.
उसका
Then
आवेश निकल
slowly
जाएगा।
his fever will come
तो
down.
ये
His
जो
absorption
आसक्ति
in the
है
body will reduce.
उस आसक्ति को हटाना
This
है,
attachment
क्योंकि ये
has to be
आसक्ति ही आवेश है।
removed
और
because this attachment is the absorption in the
यानी कि
body.
उसकी उसकी आसक्ति से विचलित करना है, कर्म से विचलित नहीं
Meaning,
करना।
we have to disturb
तो
that
समस्या जो है
person
वो कर्म
from
की
his
नहीं है,
attachment, not
समस्या
his
आसक्ति
karma.
की है।
Because the problem is not with karma itself, the problem is with the attachment.
तो समस्या जो है वो हार्डवेयर की नहीं है, वो
The
सॉफ्टवेयर
problem
की
is
है।
not in the hardware, the
तो
problem
उसका
is in the
भाव
software.
किस प्रकार से बदलना है
So, how to
ये
change the
जागरूक होना
bhava
है,
of that person?
क्योंकि जब उसका
We
स्वभाव
have to
बदलेगा
work on that.
कि
When
वासनाएं उसकी
his
इच्छाएं उसके
nature will
संस्कार
change, when his vasanas,
तो
his
ये हमारे
samskaras will change, then automatically his lifestyle will also change.
हमारे संस्कार के
Because
अनुसार
our lifestyle
उसमें
is
संस्कारित होता है।
according to our vasanas, our
इसलिए
desires. That is why.
तो के अनुसार उसको बदलना है।
So that
हम
has
क्या
to be
करते हैं, हम
changed.
हार्डवेयर को बदलते हैं.
What we do generally is we try to change the hardware. We try to bring
तो
external
उसका भी
change
थोड़ा असर
in our
पड़ता है,
life.
हार्डवेयर का भी तो असर
That
पड़ता है
that does have
हार्डवेयर
some
चेंज होता
impact because software also
है,
is
सॉफ्टवेयर
integrated with the hardware.
हार्डवेयर
So
इंटीग्रेट
software is running the hardware. So
तो
changing hardware can also have some
हमारी
impact,
भी तो वही
but
ड्रेस
not
है,
much
अपनी
because
ड्रेस है,
internally the person is same only. He has just changed his
कोई आदमी
dress.
पुरुष है स्त्री की ड्रेस पहन ले तो स्त्री थोड़े बन
If
जाएगा.
a man wears the dress of a woman, that does not mean he will become a woman.
कुछ लोग करते हैं
By
ना कि
wearing
वृंदावन
gopi
में
dress, you cannot get gopi
पुरुष
bhav.
हैं लेकिन स्त्री के वेश
You
में
can see
घूमते
some
हैं तो
people
स्त्री
in
नहीं है.
Vrindavan, they are males, but they roam around in the dress of gopis. So
भाव
do
को
they become
बदलना है,
gopis like that?
गोपी वेश.
You have to get the bhav of gopi, not the
यहाँ
dress
भी
of
जो
gopi.
भाव बदलना है उसी का,
So
यहाँ भी उसी का
similarly here
वर्णन
also
है
the
कि
bhav of the
भगवान ने
person
बताया
has
था
to
कि
be
जैसे
changed,
इच्छा वो
and
करेगा.
Bhagavan is giving the solution how to do that. So first of
क्योंकि
all he is telling do not disturb
उसको
that
जब छोड़
person
देंगे तो वो ज्ञानी
because
नहीं
if you
रहेगा,
disturb him
वो
then
ढोंग
he
करेगा.
will not become intelligent, rather he
इसका
will
जो
become
दिमाग
a
थोड़ा
hypocrite
मंद है ना, मंद बुद्धि है,
because he is of manda
तो
buddhi. He does not
वो
have
शांत
sufficient
चित्त और ठीक
intelligence.
है, समझ समझ के काम करता
His
है. तो
wisdom is not
उसकी
perfect.
बुद्धि,
If
जो
he would
बुद्धिमान
have
लोग जो
been
है उनकी समझ बहुत
very
बढ़ती है, तो उनकी बुद्धि
wise,
बढ़ती है, उनकी
intelligent,
इच्छा इच्छा शक्ति प्रबल
then
होती है, तो
some
इसलिए
people are
वो
like this who understand
कर
the
सकता है. लेकिन एक
spiritual
साधारण
subject
व्यक्ति जो
matter
है
very quickly.
वो बहुत
But ordinary person is not like this. There are
इसलिए
very,
यहाँ
very rarely people are of this stature.
भागवत में कहा ना
That's
मंद
why here it
बुद्धि
is said manda buddhi. Like in Bhagavatam it is said
तो पहले तो व्यक्ति मंदा
that
है.
first of all people
मंद
are
का मतलब होता है
manda,
आलसी,
means lazy.
कि कुछ करना नहीं चाहता है,
They do
करना
not
नहीं
want to
चाहता
do
है
anything.
आराम से. और आजकल तो
Not
दूसरे
wanting to
मोबाइल
do
आ गए
anything means
तो और ज्यादा मंद हो गए हैं. और उसके बाद
with
में
comfort.
सुमंद मति,
Nowadays it is the
मंदा
age of
सुमंद
machines, so
बुद्धि
people
मंदी,
just want to use machines for everything. And on top of that, his intelligence is also
इसके
weak.
ऊपर कभी ऐसा भी होता है कि व्यक्ति आलसी है,
And on top of that, sometimes it also happens, okay, some
इसके पास में
people
बुद्धि है,
are lazy,
कुछ
but they may
बुद्धि
be
है,
intelligent.
तो
There
अपनी
are some
बुद्धि के बल
people,
से
they are very intelligent.
वो दूसरों को
So
काम
with
पे
their
लगाते हैं.
intelligence, they make others work, they
तो जब
employ
ये कहते हैं
others.
सुमंद मति है, उसकी मति भी मंदी
But
है,
then
बुद्धि भी मंदी
Bhagavatam
है.
also says that
तो
he
जो
does
लोग
not have intelligence also,
सौभाग्यशाली होते हैं,
because there are some people who are very
अच्छे
fortunate
अमीर परिवार में
that
पैदा
they
होते
may
हैं,
be born in
इधर आ जाओ, इधर आ जाओ,
very rich families.
तो उनका भी काम चल जाएगा. कई
So
ऐसे लोग हैं कि उनके पास
his work
परिवार में इतना
also,
पैसा है कि उनको काम करने
they
की
can
जरूरत
lead
ही नहीं
their
है.
life without doing any work because their
लेकिन
family
तीसरा
has so
सवाल
much
है
of wealth.
उसका क्या इलाज करेंगे फिर,
But
उपद्रुत
the fourth point, how
मंद मति
problem, what,
मंद
how can
बुद्धि,
you cure that? That is
उपद्रुत
upadruta. Upadruta means
बुद्धि, उनका
his
मन,
intelligence,
वो
his
थोड़ा
mind
तमोगुणी है.
is of rajas and
तो क्या करेगा,
tamas.
आपके पास जितना मर्जी पैसा
So
हो,
that will always make this
शांत
person feel miserable.
शांत से कुतः सुखम, तो सुख तो आपको
No
मिलेगा
matter
नहीं,
how much wealth you may
उसका
have,
उपद्रव ही करेंगे.
but if you have this type of mind and
तो
intelligence, then you will disturb yourself and others all the time.
तो इसलिए भगवान यहाँ कहते हैं कि उनको आप बहुत संभल के उनसे
That's why Bhagavan is
व्यवहार
telling
कीजिए,
here that you should deal with these
उनसे विचार
people
कीजिए,
very
वो संभल
carefully
जाएंगे, दूसरों को
without
नहीं डिस्टर्ब
disturbing
करेंगे.
them, because if they become
तो
disturbed,
इसके लिए
they will end up disturbing others also. That's why Bhagavan is
यहाँ
giving
पर ये
such
जो
recommendation here.
गुण से सम्मूढ़ है, ये समझने वाली बात है कि गुण जो
So
है
here another important point
हमें
is
कैसे बांधते
being
हैं, इसका
deluded by the gunas of
ध्यान देना है.
Prakriti. So how this happens, Bhagavan has explained that in 14th chapter of Bhagavad
प्रकृति
Gita.
बाहो देहे देहिनम अव्ययम. जो अव्यय है, अव्यय माने यहाँ आत्मा, और उसी को देही कहा है, उसको इस
The
देह से बांध
avyaya,
देती
which
है.
here means
जैसे आग
Atma,
बांध देती है ना, बांधने
it
वाला
gets
अलग है,
bound
वस्तुओं को
with
रस्सी
the
से बांधने
body
वाला. तो
by the
आत्मा
rope.
अलग है और देह अलग है,
So Atma is different and
लेकिन
body is
इस देह
different,
को दोनों को
but these
बांधता है.
gunas they bind
तो
both.
ये तीन गुण, सत्व भी बांधता है, रजस भी
Sattva
बांधता
also
है, तमस
binds,
भी बांधता है.
Rajas also binds, and Tamas
तो
also
बांधने का मतलब
binds.
यहाँ ऐसा नहीं है
And
कि
here
आप जाके
binding
तपोवन में बंद
does
हो जाओ,
not mean that I know
ये
who am I
नहीं है.
and I am still bound.
तो ये
I
अभ्यास
I think that I am this
से
body. that is adhyas,
विभिन्न प्रकार के
superimposition of another idea,
जैसे कोई
and because of
hypnotize हो
which
जाता है
a person, it's like a person gets hypnotized.
तो फिर वो hypnotize
Being possessed by a ghost is like getting hypnotized.
किया गया है
So the way the person is hypnotized,
डाल दिया है उसी के अनुसार वो व्यवहार करता है
accordingly he just
पढ़
behaves.
रहा था कि
I was reading somewhere
hypnotize किया
that a person was hypnotized,
hypnosis state में
and when he was in the state of
जब आप इस स्थिति
hypnosis,
से बाहर आ जाएंगे तो
he
आप
was told
में आप इस तकिए से प्रेम करेंगे
that when you will come out of the state of hypnosis, after half an hour, you will fall in love with your pillow.
फिर वापस
So he was brought out of the hypnosis state,
तो अब जब
he
आधा
was
घंटा हुआ
drinking
तो
tea,
उसको बड़ी
and when
बेचैनी
half
हुई
an hour was over,
फिर
then
वापस
this person started feeling very uncomfortable, disturbed. He was asking, "Where is that pillow?"
ये तो अभी
He
तक
was
मेरे
asked,
को दिख
"Where,
रहा है
which pillow?" So he said that you showed the pillow before some time.
अब वो बेचारा उसको शर्म भी आ रही थी लेकिन वो
So
रोक
this
नहीं पा रहा था
person
कि
was feeling embarrassed also,
चूम नहीं
but then he could not control himself and he picked up the pillow and he started kissing that
देख रहे
pillow.
थे उसको तू कर क्या रहा है
He started caressing that pillow and everybody was watching and they asked him, "What are you doing?" So
जो
actually,
व्यक्ति हैं
those who are Tattvavid, those who know the truth,
को यहाँ देखते हैं
when Bhagavan
तो
sees
उनको
the
ऐसा
Jivas
लगता है
here,
कि मूर्ख लोग कर क्या रहे हैं
they appear like fools to Bhagavan.
इसमें
Bhagavan wonders,
क्या
what are these fools doing? Why are they
क्योंकि अगर
still
हम देखें
caught
कि
up
हम
in this mess?
स्वयं चेतन हैं
Because if
और
we
इसी
think
चेतन भाव
carefully,
के पीछे
we
दौड़
are
रहे हैं
conscious beings
और
and
सोचते
we
हैं
are
कि इससे
running
सुख
after
मिलेगा दुख
matter
मिलेगा
and
इसमें कोई आनंद
wondering
है नहीं
that
माया
we
की
will
बात है
derive
नहीं
some happiness from the matter.
लेकिन
But
हम
this
स्वयं
matter does not contain
किसी
any
शरीर या
happiness.
कोई रूप से
But
संबंधित
we are
होकर
bewildered, we are deluded. Some are deluded
इसमें
by
फंसे
form,
हुए हैं
somebody by wealth, somebody by somebody's
और प्रत्येक
position.
व्यक्ति इस संसार में
Every person
किसी न
is
किसी चीज से संबंधित
bewildered
है
by something or the other.
और उसका जीवन उसी के चारों तरफ फिर घूमता
And
है
his life rotates
और जब वो
around
मरता है
that object of
जिसके लिए
bewilderment
उसे
only.
जीवन मिला
And
है
then he dies. And
उसकी
then
प्राप्ति उसको
the
नहीं हो
purpose
पाती
for which he achieved the human
तो
form,
इस
he
आवेश से
fails to
कैसे
achieve
उसको
that.
निकलना है उसकी
So, how to come out of
भगवान
this
यहाँ पर
absorption
बताते
in
हैं
matter? Bhagavan is teaching
अब
that
अगले
in
श्लोक में
Gita. Then, in the next verse,
इसका समाधान क्या कर सकते हैं हम इसमें
the
इसके लिए
solution
यहाँ पर
for this problem.
तो कहते हैं मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्न्यस्य अध्यात्म चेतसा निराशीर निर्ममो भूत्वा युद्धस्व विगतज्वः तो इस श्लोक का संगति श्लोक की पिछले श्लोक से
So,
संगति यही है कि
what is the
भगवान
connection of this verse with the previous one?
तो विचलित
Bhagavan
प्राणियों से
is
क्या करना
was telling that don't disturb them. Then the question arises, then
उसके लिए भगवान
what
कहते हैं
should they do? So for that reason, Bhagavan is
समस्त
telling here,
पापों को मुझे
translation,
अर्पण करके अपने
therefore,
मन को
dedicating all
समाहित
actions to me, with your mind fixed on the
स्थित
self,
होकर
being
भाव
devoid
बुद्धि
of
से
desire for the
समाहित
fruits,
होकर
free from all
तथा
notions of
समस्त क्लेश
proprietorship,
पापों को
and
त्याग
having
करके
abandoned all mental anguish,
तो
be
यहाँ
engaged in battle.
अर्जुन के लिए बोल रहे हैं
So here he is
क्योंकि अर्जुन ने
specifically
भी एक
speaking to
प्रश्न पूछा
Arjun
था ना तदेकम
because Arjun had asked.
येन श्रेयम् आपने जायसी चेत कर्मणस्ते मता बुद्धिर्जनार्दन तत्किं कर्मणे घोरे माम नियोजयसि केशव ये तीसरा अध्याय इसी से अर्जुन के प्रश्न से ही आरंभ हुआ था ना कि
The
जब
third chapter began with Arjuna's
बुद्धि योग
question
और ज्ञान
only,
योग को श्रेष्ठ समझते हो
that
तो
if
मुझसे
you
क्यों
consider
पूछते हो
Buddhi Yoga, Jnana Yoga to be supreme, why are you
तो
engaging
ऐसे
me
बताइए कि मेरे को क्या
in
करना
karma?
चाहिए
So
तो
tell me
भगवान यहाँ
decisively what should I
बता
do?
रहे हैं कि
So
युद्ध
here
स्व
Bhagavan is
कि
telling
आप युद्ध करो
that you
और
should
ये
engage in battle.
और ये जो आपको बुखार चढ़ गया है
And this fever that
इसको
you
give up
have, give up this fever.
तो वास्तव में भगवान उसको युद्ध में नहीं लगा रहे हैं
So actually Bhagavan is not engaging Arjuna in battle. Arjuna had himself
जैसा कि हम बार
decided
बार कहते हैं कि
to
भगवान
do
अर्जुन
to
को
engage in the battle and he had
युद्ध
come for that only. Many
वो
times
थोड़ी ना
people accuse Bhagavan of having
मांग रहे हैं
incited Arjuna to engage in battle.
मैंने
No,
आपको कहा था कि मेरा
it was
लक्ष्य
Arjuna's decision
वो
and he requested Bhagavan to become chariot driver. So Bhagavan is simply telling that why are you not doing what you actually came for? Bhagavan is simply reminding Arjun of his previous decision, of his duty. So here, engaging in battle indicates that whatever is one's duty, if he is within Varnashram, then according to the Varnashram prescribed duty, or if he is outside Varnashram, whatever is his duty, he should do that and he should do it with all his heart, not half-heartedly, because people are not determined, they are not fixed up. So you should remain fixed up in performing your duty with all your intelligence, energy,
भगवान को अर्पण करने के लिए।
but that action should be done as an offering to
ये
Bhagavan.
नहीं कह रहे हैं कि आप जो कर रहे हैं
So Bhagavan is not telling that what you are doing, you give it up.
लेकिन जो कर रहे हैं उसको ये मत समझो कि इसका फल इसके कर्ता आप हैं।
Rather, he is saying that do not consider yourself as the doer of the action.
कि उसको आप उनमें अर्पण कर दें,
So here,
न्यास कर दें।
sannyasya means to do nyas, to dedicate that action to Bhagavan.
राशि का मतलब है
And nirashi means not to be devoid of desire for the fruits. And nirmama means free from all notions of proprietorship.
कर्तृत्व की आसक्ति एक फल
So one is attachment to doership, one is attachment to
उसकी अपनेपन की
the result, and other is result attachment to the sense of proprietorship. So giving up all this, then you do not have to go anywhere else.
आसान नहीं है,
So this is also not easy,
कुल छोड़ के कुछ और करना
but
उससे तो आसान
giving up all actions and doing something else against our nature, this is far easier compared to that.
वो ये भी नहीं कह रहे कि आपको कुछ
Bhagavan is also not saying that you have to do any specific action. He is telling whatever you do, whether it is Vedic karma or worldly action.
तो भगवान का जो कर्मयोग यहाँ
So
गीता में
here
उन्होंने
in Karma Yoga section of Gita, whatever Bhagavan is speaking,
थोड़ा भिन्न
that is little different from the Karma Yoga of Purva Mimamsa. Because in the Karma Yoga of Purva Mimamsa, only Vedic actions, Ved prescribed actions are allowed. But here, whenever Bhagavan speaks, he says Sarvani Karmani. That he say Bhagavan says that your entire life should be dedicated to Bhagavan only.
ये
So in reality,
कठिन दिखता है लेकिन कठिन नहीं है,
it appears very difficult, but
पकड़ के रख
it will be easy if we understand it properly and if we hold on to these teachings. Because whatever body we have,
मूढ़ा प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वश
as I said earlier,
भी क्रिया करते हैं
whatever actions we do with the body, mind,
प्रकार के कर्म है,
and speech, verbal, physical, and mental. So we have these senses, various senses, mind, intelligence, chitta. This all belongs to Prakriti, to material nature, and material nature is not our property.
भूमि रापो अनलो वायु खम मनो बुद्धि रेव च अहंकार मिति यम्मे भिन्ना प्रकृति रस कहते हैं ये मेरी प्रकृति
Bhagavan
है,
says that this is my Prakriti.
तो ये भगवान की प्रकृति
So
है,
this Prakriti, this material nature belongs to Bhagavan,
बैठा हुआ है,
and the Jiva who is sitting inside,
तो कहते हैं
whom does the Jiva belong to? Bhagavan says the Jiva also belongs to me.
वस्तु अन्या प्रकृति सनातन जीव भूताम महाबाहो ये एकदम धार्यते जगत, तो जीव भी उनका
So the
प्रकृति भी
Jiva also belongs to Bhagavan, the Prakriti also belongs to Bhagavan. Then the work that Jivas will do,
मेरा,
then the Jiva start claiming that work belongs to us. So this is theft, this is robbery.
वो चोर ही है। अब चोर को तो
That's
दंड
why
देना
Bhagavan
है,
referred to these people as Ten earlier. So thief has to be punished.
फिर हम कहते हैं कि ये मेरे ऊपर ये कष्ट क्यों आ रहा है, मैंने तो कुछ
Then
नहीं
the
किया,
thief complains that I did not do anything wrong, then why am I suffering?
ऐसा अन्याय क्यों कर रहा है,
Why is Bhagavan being unjust to me? I did not do anything wrong.
किया
But the question is raised that if you did not come and do anything wrong, then who did it? So if everything belongs to Bhagavan, then what is the difficulty in giving everything back to him?
किसी संस्था में काम करते हैं
If you are working in any organization, in any
और
office,
वहाँ आपको सब सुविधा उन्होंने दी है,
and you have been given various facilities by the company like
दहेज दिया है,
computer, chair, table, electricity,
कई बार चाय
room.
कॉफी भी मिलते हैं,
You also get tea
तो
and
वहाँ बैठ
coffee
के आप
served
अपने
by the
फ्रीलांसिंग वर्क
company.
कराएं,
And if you sit there and you do
अपने
your own
समय के
freelancing
खर्च को
work
ना कराएं,
instead of
तो कितने दिन आप
the
निकाल लेंगे?
job that you have been given, then how long will
आधे आधे को
you
तो निकाल ही देंगे,
be able to
वहाँ तो
sustain in
निकालने
that
की जरूरत ही नहीं
company?
है किसी को,
You will
उन्होंने दे
be
दिया आपको कि भैया आप ये
you
ले
will
लो,
be fired from the
सब
job.
तुमको दिया,
So Bhagavan does not fire anybody. He just
लेकिन
gives the
हिसाब तो
body,
रखते हैं ना वो सबका।
but he says you do whatever you like within in this body.
तो
But
जितना
Bhagavan maintains
संसार में
account of
जिसके
each and every action that the jiva does.
सबके हृदय में बैठ के मैं देख रहा हूँ,
He
तो उसका
he
मैं
says
सब
that I
कुछ
am
देख रहा
sitting
हूँ,
inside the heart of the jiva and I am
तो
witnessing
अगर उस
everything.
बात को और ये वास्तविकता है, तो
And
कोई
this is truth.
कल्पना नहीं है
This is
कि
not
मैं
some fairy
शरीर
tale
में आ
that
गया,
I am speaking.
क्योंकि शरीर तो आपने चयन नहीं किया, मैं
Because you
स्त्रीलिंग
did
में
not
जन्म
choose
लूंगा,
your
आपको
body
पता है कि
that
माता
I
पिता ने
want
मेरा
to
जन्म
be
दिया,
born
उन्होंने तय किया था
as a male or a
कि
female. I want to
इस
be
घर
born
को,
to
इस
these
देश को,
parents, or I want
इस
to be
दुनिया
born in
को,
such and such family or in this
या
country,
आपने
or
कुछ
my nose should be like
ऐसा
this, or skin color should be
एप्लीकेशन
like
फाइल की
this.
ऐसे ही आपने? नहीं।
You did not
ये
file any
वास्तविकता है,
application anywhere to get your desired
उसको
birth.
अब अपना कहने लगे,
So you just
तो आप
got
फिर
it
यही
and
करेंगे,
now you start claiming
तो
it
फिर उसका
to be yours, and then you
दंडानुपात देना
start
पड़ेगा।
using it as if
तो
it belongs
इसीलिए
to
यहाँ
you.
भगवान समझा रहे
Then
हैं
you
कि
will have to
शरीर,
suffer.
इसी बात को बार बार कह रहे हैं क्योंकि मंद है
So
ये,
what I said earlier also,
मंदा सुमंद मति हो,
that these
तो जब
people,
इसको मैं समझाऊंगा,
their intelligence is very weak.
और ये
So
बात
because of weak
इतनी
intelligence,
गहरी
it becomes very
गहरी है
difficult for us to understand the spiritual subject matter. And this wrong idea
क्योंकि जो
has gone
अहंकार
very
है
deep inside us
ये
that we are
हमारे
all in
संसार
all.
में बाधा डालता है।
This ahankar
ये
creates lot of
अहंकार बहुत
obstacles.
जबरदस्त चीज है,
This ahankar is something very wonderful,
भगवान ने दी है।
very strong.
तो
What
जितना
Bhagavan
भी
has
सीख लो,
given.
जब करने की बात आती
No
है तो
matter how
उसका
much you
परिणाम
hear, ahankar always
है।
functions according
तो
to
सबसे
its
बड़ा
original
बाधा जो
state.
है
So the
ये
biggest obstacle
अहंकार ही डालता है,
is created by ahankar
इसीलिए
itself.
इसी को बार बार
That
कहते
is
हैं।
why
अंत में जाके
again and
भगवान
again this
सार
is
स्वरूप गीता
repeated.
निकालते हैं ना, सर्वधर्म
The
परित्याग,
essence of Gita, Bhagavan calls out the essence of Gita
और
as
शरणागति सबसे
Sharanagati,
कठिन काम है,
dedication. So
और
this
इसमें
surrendering, this
विफलता
Sharanagati is very difficult.
आती है अहंकार के कारण।
And the difficulty arises due to
और अहंकार क्या
ahankar.
है कि मैं ये शरीर हूँ,
And what is this ahankar? That I am this
वास्तव में अगर
body.
आप थोड़ा इसका विश्लेषण करें
Actually, if you
तो इस
analyze little
अहंकार पे कोई
deeply,
नियंत्रण नहीं है,
you will understand that you have absolutely no control over
खाने
your
पीने
body.
का नियंत्रण नहीं है कि खाना पच
You
जाए,
are eating, you do not have any control if the food will get
सोना
digested or
चाहते हो
no.
आपका
You
नियंत्रण नहीं
want
है
to
कि आप
sleep, you
कितनी
have no
नींद ले
control
सकते
that
हैं,
according to your desire you will
आप
get
सोना
sleep or
चाहते
no.
हैं, कुछ भी करना चाहते
If you
हैं,
want to wake up,
उसमें
you have no
आपकी
control. Whatever you want to do, you have no control over your
प्राणापान
body.
समान व्यनुदान,
So whatever
शीतल
prana
देवदत्त धनवायु,
are
कितने
functioning,
प्राणवायु हैं इसमें,
are operating inside the body. Some say
उसके
there are
अनुसार
10,
सब
some say
क्रियाएं इसमें हो
14.
रही हैं,
According to that,
जैसे
different
जैसे
functions are happening inside the body. Like if you see
जैसे
a robot,
अलग अलग जगह से कुछ उनकी, उन्होंने अपना तंत्र बिछाया हुआ है, उससे बिजली जाती है, वो चलता है।
so they
तो शरीर बिल्कुल ऐसे ही काम करता है,
the body
ऐसा
also
नहीं है कि
functions
आप
like
अहंकार से कहे कि
kind
मैं
of a like a robot only. You may think
ऐसी
that
भ्रांति इसलिए होती
you
है
are
क्योंकि
controlling this body,
ऐसा
but
होता
that
है
is
कि
not the
मेरा हाथ
fact.
यहाँ पर
This
रखा
is
है,
due to
मैं इसके
ahankar.
हाथ को ऊपर उठाऊं,
So
तो
let's say my hand is on the table and I think let me raise my
वास्तविकता ये
hand.
सोचना
So
कि
hand
मेरा
goes
हाथ
up.
यहाँ पर है, ये कैसे
I'm
ऊपर उठेगा,
thinking,
नहीं है।
just analyze it. You are thinking inside your
बंद
brain,
करना
but
है
the
तो हाथ
hand
बंद हो जाता
goes
है,
up.
तो इसमें
You
अहंकार
want
नहीं
to
होता
close
है कि
your
मैं ही कर रहा हूँ,
eye lids and
लेकिन मेरा हाथ थोड़ा
that
पीछे
happens.
होता
So
है,
you think that you are doing it. But what if the hand gets
समझ
paralyzed?
गए?
Then you try to raise your hand, see if it will move up. It won't.
और चलो ठीक है, हाथ पैर तो मैं चला लेता हूँ कि मेरा हाथ इधर जाता
Okay,
है, इधर
suppose let's
खींचता
say
है,
fine, we can move our hands, legs wherever we like. Now
और
try
आप
to control your mind.
इस सबके मालिक हो,
If
तो
you
थोड़ा मन को जरा
are
शांत
actually
रखिए,
the proprietor of all this, then why don't you try controlling your mind?
और
Then
मन
you will
जब आपका
realize the
नियंत्रण में
truth.
नहीं है,
When your mind is not under your control and mind is controlling everything else, then how can you say that you are the controller?
बनी रहती है कि मैं ही चला रहा हूँ इसको।
But
और
then
ये भ्रांति
still
जब
it is such a big illusion that I am the controller.
विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती जी ने
This
बोला
illusion does not go away easily.
क्योंकि उसको हमसे
Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given an excellent example of being possessed by a
ये
ghost.
आवेश जाता नहीं है ऐसे।
So this absorption in the
इसलिए
body
हमें
does not go
समझना
away.
है कि सब कुछ तो उन्हीं का ही है,
So here we have to
इसमें कोई
understand
हमारी
that everything belongs to Bhagavan. And what is the
ये मेरा नहीं है।
point
इसलिए जब
in maintaining proprietorship, sense of proprietorship over the body? Like in Yagya, we say idam na mama,
मेरे लिए नहीं है,
that this is for Indra, this is not for me.
क्योंकि
Then we have to chant like that. Otherwise, Indra won't believe.
हाथ हाथ का देवता
So Indra watches. He is the devata of the
आता है,
hand.
अभी तू मुंह से बोल रहा है इंद्रा
So
स्वाहा,
he watches
है
now.
या नहीं है?
So Indra
इसके
checks
इसके
that
लिए
you
इंद्र
are
विश्वास
chanting
करता है
Indraya Swaha. Actually, yes or no? That's why we assure Indra saying that idam na mama. No, no. I am assuring you it is not mine, it is yours.
यानी कि
So for that reason, Bhagavan says sannyasta means whatever object belongs to the one specific person, give it to that person.
सारा
But in this case, it is not like physically giving up. It is just about changing the mentality. The whole problem lies with our mentality only.
पड़ेगा, उसके लिए कोई
And in order to change that, we will have to work hard.
मशरूम खा लो
It does not happen by taking some tablet. Nowadays, there is the trend of mushroom, ayahuasca, and your samskaras will change. People speak like this. They write to me also.
लगेगा थोड़ा कि हाँ कुछ
So
हो गया, वास्तव में कुछ अंत
I
में कुछ
can
नहीं
assure
होगा,
you, at the end, nothing will happen. You may feel that something is happening, but in reality, nothing will happen. That is my guarantee.
मैदान साफ हो गया,
It is just like cutting the grass on the ground, but the grass will come up again.
मूल सत्य है ये,
This is the permanent,
इसका
this is
पीछे
the truth.
कहवाने से कुछ नहीं होने वाला। ये जब आपका भाव नहीं बदलेगा, जब तक ये
As
दीवारें
long
बैठेगी
as
नहीं,
your bhava does not change
तो ये
and this truth does not get
आपका
fixed,
पीछा छोड़ेगा नहीं।
gets rooted properly inside your
इसलिए
brain, it won't leave you.
शब्द का प्रयोग किया है यहाँ पर, एक एक शब्द बहुत
That
महत्वपूर्ण
is why here Adhyatma Chetasa word is used. Every word is very important in Gita. So Chetasa means here your buddhi and
आत्मनि अधिकृत्य वर्तते इति अध्यात्म, आत्मा यहाँ मतलब परमात्मा,
Adhyaya here means Paramatma.
से आपको समर्पण करना है,
Means you have to take shelter with your intelligence.
आत्म चेतसा,
You have to understand this all belongs to Paramatma only.
ये सब परमात्मा का ही है।
Adhyatma Chetasa means properly understanding that this all belongs to Paramatma, not to me.
तो उससे आपकी बुद्धि की
So that will lead to purification of your intelligence. And then you will function with Vigata Jvara. What is this Jvara?
टेम्परेचर,
Like Jvara, generally we refer to high temperature, fever.
एक तो होता है कि
So one is there may be some bacteria or some
कहते हैं उनकी लड़ाई
other organism inside the body. Like people say,
और जो बाहर से आ गए हैं विदेशी, उनके आपस में जब लड़ाई होती है तो उससे थोड़ा हीट बढ़ जाती है।
so some foreign germs, organisms enter inside the body and the immune system fights with that. So there may be fever. And other fever is what Arjun had when he said that my Gandiv bow is slipping from my hand and my body is burning with high temperature
और मेरा मन,
and my mind is reeling.
तो यहाँ तो कोई बैक्टीरिया
So there was no bacteria which had entered Arjuna's body.
होता है,
So this jwara, this fever happens due to attachment.
तो असली बुखार जो है वो काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, मात्सर्य,
So the real fever is
शत्रु जिनको कहते हैं,
lust, anger, greed, and
तीन को
envy.
महत्व दिया भगवान ने,
And
आगे के
Bhagavan has especially spoken about these three, lust, greed, and anger. He says that these three are the gates to hell. So give them up.
कारण जो है मोह,
Because of this, there is illusion, bewilderment, this fever, attachment.
तो फिर व्यक्ति जो है
So then,
वो अपने को
human being does not understand himself or herself,
कार्य
and then
चाहिए,
whatever
उसकी रुचि
he has to do,
और गलत काम करता है।
he should do it, does not do that, rather engages in wrong actions.
तो जैसे
So this makes us weak. So like in fever, your body becomes weak. Similarly, this fever of attachment makes us weak. We lose our strength due to this attachment. That's what Arjun is showing through his example. He says that I'm not able to stand also. Such a brave warrior, he went and sat inside the warrior, inside the chariot.
सब अपना धनुष बाण छोड़ के बैठ गया माथा पकड़
He
के।
gave up his bow, arrows, everything, and he just
ऐसा
sat
क्यों
in a
हुआ?
mood of depression.
इस ज्वर के कारण।
So why did this happen? This happened because of this
आसक्ति का ज्वर
fever,
जो है
this fever of
ये
attachment.
कमजोर
The
बनाता
fever of attachment makes us weak, like what we
है।
see in
इसका
the case of
इसके
Arjun.
कारण हम समर्पण नहीं करना चाहते
And due to this attachment, we resist
क्योंकि हमको ऐसा लगता है
in
इससे खत्म
surrendering, because we fear
होगा, ये इसका
that if we
परिवार कैसे
surrender,
चलेगा,
then how will my family be maintained?
मैं कैसे जीवन
How
जीऊंगा,
will I
इस
survive?
प्रकार के विचार आते हैं
So many thoughts come
क्योंकि हम
in
यही सोचते हैं ना कि मैं ही हूँ सब कुछ, मैं ही
because
करने वाला हूँ।
we generally think like this, that I am all in all,
गांव का
I am the
एक
doer, I am the maintainer of my family.
वो उसने
So once there was a villager,
पकड़ी,
he
उसके पास में अपना सामान था, वो सर पे
went,
टंगा
he
हुआ
entered
उसने
a
गांव में।
train, he was having some luggage on his head.
गांव के आदमी जो आपने देखा होगा, भारत में तो ऐसे ही चलते हैं,
So you must have seen
सर ढके
villagers
रहते हैं ना
in
ऐसे।
India, they walk like this by
गाड़ी में गया तो
keeping the
गाड़ी
luggage on their
गाड़ी
head.
सिर पे
So
रखी
he
हुई थी,
entered the train and the luggage was on his
पास में एक
head.
व्यक्ति बैठा हुआ था, उसने कहा भैया
So
ये
there
क्या
was
कर रहे
some
हैं,
person
इसको इसको
was
तो नीचे
sitting
उतारो।
nearby, and
उसने कहा नहीं, नीचे
this
रखो, मैं
villager,
गाड़ी के ऊपर बैठ
somebody
के
said
चलता
that
हूँ।
why don't you keep it down? So the villager said, no, no, if I keep this
लगेगा,
luggage down, there
गाड़ी
will be so much weight inside the train.
क्योंकि गांव का आदमी था ना, बैलगाड़ी चलाता था,
So he was a villager, he used to ride on
बैलगाड़ी
bullock
में
cart.
अगर ज्यादा वजन हो जाए
So
तो बैल चलते नहीं है,
if there is too
इसलिए
much
ऊंचाई से
weight
अटैच
on the
करके
bullock
साथ में
cart,
रखे हैं। तो वो
the
सोच
bull
रहा है
will
कि
not be able to take
ये
it
जो
forward.
बैठा हुआ
So
है,
this person
इससे
is
गाड़ी के
thinking
ऊपर कब्जा नहीं
that
होगा,
if I keep the luggage down, it will increase
क्यों?
the weight
गाड़ी
inside the
मेरे से
train.
वजन ले रही है,
But the point is that the train is anyway carrying the weight of the person and
तो
his
इस
bag
प्रकार क्या
also.
हो गया कि अब हम
So
सोच रहे हैं
similarly,
कि
what has happened,
सब
that
मेरा ही
we are thinking that
और मेरे
all of this
सिर
belongs
पर
to
है।
me.
तो यहाँ भगवान कहते हैं कि सबके नीचे मैं हूँ,
There,
सबका
I do
आधार।
not have any foundation. Bhagavan says, no, I am the support, the foundation of
ऐसे
everything.
समझेंगे तो हमारी जो ये जो ज्वर जो है ये उतर जाएगा
So
फिर,
if we understand like this
नहीं तो हमारी
properly,
आसक्ति है
then
भोग
our
की,
fever will of attachment will go away. Otherwise, we have attachment to karma,
जब किसी को क्रोध आता है तो उसका
anger.
टेम्परेचर भी बढ़
You
जाता
must
है,
have seen when somebody
काम
becomes
नहीं
very
करता,
angry, his temperature
तो
increases.
आसक्ति में भी
Actually, it happens in case of lust
फीवर
also.
भी होता है, लोभ में भी
Fever
होता
happens in case of lust,
है, और
anger,
ये
and
होता
greed.
है अध्यात्म के विरुद्ध में,
And
क्योंकि आप
this
कहते हैं
goes against spirituality,
जो
adhyatma.
लोग काम करते हैं,
Because you may say
मान
that
लीजिए
those
लोभ
who are
है
very
जिसमें उनकी
kami,
शुद्धि नहीं है,
lusty, they do work a lot. So
आध्यात्मिक
yes, they do work a lot,
उसमें उनको ऊपर
but
चढ़
when
जाता
it comes to spiritual subject matter, then they become very lazy.
है। जैसे जिसको
They
बुखार
do
होता
not
है
show
खाने
any
पीने में
interest
रुचि कम हो जाती
in
है,
that, in any sadhana.
तो ऐसे ही उनकी रुचि
So
कम हो
like
जाती है।
when somebody has fever, he
इसलिए
doesn't
भगवान
have much
कहते हैं
taste for food. So
कि
similarly, these people who have the fever of
अगर किसी
attachment
को
do not
कफ
have
हो
taste in spirituality.
और कपड़े पे कोई कुछ लग गया,
So
तो
like
आपको कोई
you
बताएगा
have
कि देखो आप ये
clothes and there is
लगा
some
हुआ है,
stain or spot
आप
on
ये
your
कर दिया,
clothes,
धन्यवाद,
then you remove that, or something is sticking on the cloth, you remove that and you say to the person, okay, thank you for telling me. Or if there is something on your face and somebody points out,
इतने
then you
बड़ाई
remove
करते
that
हैं
and thank that person. But if
ये
you
आप
have some
समझिए कि आप बड़े
stain
लोभी
or
आदमी हैं,
spot inside your mind and somebody tells you you are a very
तो आप
greedy
उसको
person, then you will become so angry.
आप उसको धन्यवाद देंगे क्या?
Instead, will you thank that
कोई
person?
कहे तो आप तो बड़े क्रोधी
If
हो,
somebody tells you you are a very angry person,
आप तो बड़े अहंकारी हो,
you are very proud,
तो ये तो लोभी
egoistic.
ही है एक प्रकार की,
So this is also a black
एक
spot only inside.
ये हमारे
This is
मन
also
में
black stain inside our
ये
mind.
हमारे मन
So
में
you may
छिपा
have
हुआ है।
stain on your black spot on your clothes or in your
जैसे
face.
काली
So
माता का
similarly, there is so
आए
much of black
तो आपको कोई परेशानी
stuff
नहीं है,
inside our mind,
आप बल्कि प्रसन्न
but
होकर
we resist. We do not resist when somebody points it on our clothes, on our face. Then you thank that person because you feel happy. Okay, otherwise somebody would have seen that there is black spot on my face. But when there is black spot inside your mind, what about that?
चेहरा देख के कोई कहे कि अरे लगता आपको तो जॉन्डिस हो गया,
If somebody sees your face and says that you have jaundice, you go to doctor and get it cured. But if somebody points out some disease in your mind, then you say, no, no, leave it. You don't know me. Actually, I don't have this problem. You are envious of me. That is why you are speaking like this. You are jealous. That's why you are doing fault finding in me. So it is like somebody tells you that you have fever and you say, so what? If I have fever, fever happens to everybody. So in case of physical diseases, you do not carry them, you get them treated. But when it comes to mental diseases, we consider them our property. No, no, don't touch my lust, anger, etc. Like how we protect our property, we hide it from others. Similarly, we protect our lust, anger, greed, ahankar very carefully inside safe space. Nobody should see that. So we consider these diseases, these mental diseases as our property. We have considered, we assume that our mind is healthy. We assume that we are not having poverty of mind. We are very wealthy. So then how will such a person improve? If somebody is diseased, will he be happy? So similarly, the life of an ordinary human being is like this only. We do feel inside our mind if we if we focus on our own condition, if we do some self introspection, then we will realize that I also have anger, I have ahankar, I have lust. But if somebody else, so then if somebody else points out, why do you become disturbed? You should actually thank that person that you pointed out my disease to me. But rather than thanking, you start fighting with that person and you say that don't ever talk to me again. I was under the impression that you are my friend, but you have turned out to be my enemy. So this is the disease.
अर्जुन को कोई वैसे थोड़े बुखार चढ़ा हुआ था कि चल भाई तू एस्पिरिन खा ले तेरा बुखार उतर जाएगा, ऐसा वाला बुखार थोड़ा ही था, उसको बुखार तो आसक्ति का था ना.
Arjuna's disease was not some physical disease that he had to take aspirin. It was a mental disease, fever of attachment to his relatives, his family members. He was telling that I do not want to kill them. So same thing, killing the relatives or friends basically in Gita indicates killing the attachments. So we do not want to destroy our attachments. Bhagavan is telling that these attachments to lust, greed, envy will take you to hell. They will make your life miserable. So the root of suffering, we have carefully protected it inside our heart. So we ask others, please tell some solution. I am suffering. I am having lot of clash in my life. Please give me some mantra so that my mind becomes peaceful, happy. So what mantra can the sadhu give? Because you are keeping the poison of attachment carefully inside your heart. So you have to uproot that completely. If you do not remove this jada meaning root, it will make jada indicating matter. Although you are a conscious being, you will behave as if you are matter. So Bhagavan is telling that you abandon this mental anguish and engage yourself in battle. Now one question may arise. On one side, Bhagavan is telling that you fight. On the other side, he says everything belongs to him. So how to understand that? So we should understand in this way that suppose we are working in any institution, we are employed there. So we are the prayojakarta, the employed, and one is the prayojak karta, the employer. One is Swatantra Karta, Prayojak Karta, and Prayojya.
प्रयोज्य कर्ता मतलब वो
Prayojya
किसी दूसरे के लिए काम
Karta is one who works for somebody else, and Prayojan Karta means one who employs others.
भगवान प्रयोजक है,
So Bhagwan is the Prayojak, he is employing.
इसलिए मत्ता सर्वम प्रवर्तते
So
कहते हैं
he
सब
says, Matta Sarvam Pravartate, everything comes from me only.
लेकिन हम प्रयोज्य हैं,
We are the Prayojya, the employed.
वो प्रयोजक के लिए काम करता है। जैसे आप
So the employed has to work for the employer.
ब्राह्मण आता है,
Like there is, let's say, a yagya, and there Brahman comes, so Brahman is giving ahuti in the yagya, but who gets the result of that ahuti?
फल यजमान,
The phala goes to the yajman. Why?
क्योंकि यजमान
Because yajman has employed the Brahman for this yagya,
करेगा तो उसका
and if the Brahman does that, he will get the dakshina,
लेकिन यज्ञ का
but the result of yagya will accrue to the yajman. Similarly, Bhagavan is the bhokta.
साम सर्वलोक महेश्वरम, तो वो ही भोक्ता है सब यज्ञ तपस, वही महेश्वर है,
He is the bhokta, he is the maheshwara.
उन्हीं के लिए है।
So everything that obviously belongs to him. Everything is for him.
इसी बात को
So if we can understand this properly
हम हृदय से स्वीकार
and we can accept it wholeheartedly,
शब्द का प्रयोग
this Adhyatma Chetasa word is used here, it means that it is not just lip service, giving lectures,
में ये बात हमारे जम जाए,
but we have to actually accept it wholeheartedly in the core of our heart, that everything belongs to Bhagavan, everything is for him. Then there is no worry in this world. Why do you have to worry about anything?
हमारे साथ में खड़ा हुआ
When the greatest person is with us as our friend,
फिर भी हम चिंता क्यों कर रहे हैं?
still why are we worried?
हम अपना थैला
That is because we are still holding this baggage, this luggage on our head. We do not want to keep it down. We are in the train of this life, and we are worried that if we keep the baggage down, the train will stop due to extra load.
जाता है, वो चलेगा ही नहीं।
If there is extra load on the bullock cart, the bull will stop. He will not move ahead. If extra load is there on the horse carriage, the horse will stop because the load is more than its capacity to hold. So the human being also thinks like this.
सब छोड़कर
That is why we have to give up all this
श्रद्धा
ideas
की शरणागति प्राप्त
and have faith
सब कार्य उन्हीं
in Bhagavan and take his shelter and do and work for him.
करेंगे, वो आपका
And it is not that if you work for Bhagavan, you will die out of hunger. Bhagavan is not going to come and loot your home. Everything already belongs to him. The whole game is of your mentality, your bhava only. Whatever change has to happen, it has to happen in the mind. External change is very easy. You can do this, that. You can do 16 rounds chanting, etc. What is so great? You can wake up early. You can do that. That is not such a big challenge. The real challenge is to change the mind.
है ना, मन का उसको बोलते हैं, जो माला
The beads on the mala, they are called manka.
मन का फेर,
So
ये घुमाना
there's a saying, manka fair, means you have to do the real mala in your mind, indicating that you have to change the mind, bring change there.
सभी श्लोक भगवान के अलौकिक हैं,
Every verse spoken by Bhagavan is amazing. He gives such amazing teachings, and mind becomes ecstatic
तो आज का
hearing such teachings from Bhagavan, his hearing his wisdom. So we'll stop here. If you have any question, you can ask.
पूछिए। बोलो।
आपने ये अध्यात्म का अर्थ
So,
बताया
question, you told the meaning of Adhyatma,
है,
that it is made with Atma and Adhikritya.
कृत्य का मतलब क्या है?
Can you tell the meaning of Adhikritya? Answer, Adhikritya means to make it the Vishaya.
अधिकरण अर्थ में है सब,
It is in the अर्थ of Adhikaran.
आत्मा नहीं, अव्ययी भाव समास।
YouTube से प्रश्न है,
Next
क्या
question.
यह भी अर्थ है कि हम शरीर तथा इंद्रियों सहित सभी चीजों का उपयोग संसार की सेवा के लिए
Can we
करें,
say
ताकि
that we should do everything for
हाँ ये भी अर्थ है, लेकिन संसार के
the service of this world,
तो
Answer. First, you have to understand the meaning of samsara.
भगवान के बारे में तो हम कह सकते हैं कि भगवान ये है,
In case of Bhagavan, we can say this is Bhagavan. Sansara also belongs to Bhagavan.
कहते हैं
So it is said
गीता में जब
like
आप
this.
देखेंगे तो संसार की बात
But if you check Gita, Bhagavan is speaking about himself, not of samsara.
कहते हैं ना कि भगवान कृष्ण
That's why
गीता में इतने अहंकारी
many times people accuse him of being speaking very egoistically
अहंकार नहीं है, आपके लिए बता
in
रहे
a very proud way in Gita. So there is no ego or anything here. He is speaking all this for your own benefit.
हैं क्या छुपा है,
Those who are proud, they actually hide. Bhagavan has nothing to hide.
क्योंकि वो
He is telling everything very openly because he is not proud.
दीपक जी का प्रश्न है, यदि
Next
कोई भक्ति
question.
मार्ग का अनुसरण
If
करने
one
में
is trying to
असफल
follow
है,
Bhakti Marg,
लेकिन उसके
but
घर में
one's
किसी
family
किसी
members are
कारण
neutral
है
or not following,
और उसका अनुसरण नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो उस
what
व्यक्ति
should
को
one
सद्भाव
do
बनाए
to
रखने के लिए
maintain
क्या करना
harmony?
चाहिए?
तो
Answer.
आपको हाँ हाँ करते रहना है सबके साथ,
You should simply keep telling yes, yes to everybody in such
ओम के
situation.
साथ
In
संस्कृत में
Manusmriti,
ओम
Manush
शब्द
ji
का मतलब
says
उसका हाँ यस,
in Sanskrit, Om means
दूसरों के
yes.
साथ में विरोध पैदा
So
ना
with
हो,
other
हाँ
people,
करते रहिए,
don't
केवल
create
yes yes
opposition.
बात तो है
Just
लेकिन
keep
भाव
telling
नहीं है,
yes,
भाव
yes, and you do your
भाव कोई
bhakti.
देख नहीं सकता,
Because bhakti is about bhava, and that is in your mind.
इसलिए
Even your father cannot understand what is in your mind.
क्योंकि
So you just tell yes, yes to everybody because you are not an independent person in the society. So you tell yes, yes, cooperate with them, but
पीछे माइक
maintain your bhakti bhava in your mind.
एक माइक पीछे दे दो,
हाँ गुरुजी, एक प्रश्न था, लिखा था आत्मा में स्थिरता
Next
हो,
question.
एकदम
It was said in the previous one to be sthir in the Atma.
स्थिरता कैसे
So
आए?
my question is,
स्थिर कैसे हो?
how does one become stable?
होता है बुद्धि से,
Answer. Stability comes by intelligence. Mind is flickering.
बलवदृढ़म
Mind is chanchala.
और बुद्धियुक्त या पार्थ कर्म बंधम प्रहस्यसि, तो बुद्धि के प्रयोग से आप में स्थिरता
By
आती है,
using intelligence, you will become stable.
लेकिन प्राय करके हम बुद्धि
But
का प्रयोग
mostly,
करना भूल गए हैं,
we do not
नहीं है तो भूल गए हैं और इसलिए बुद्धि
use our buddhi.
क्योंकि जिस
We
चीज
have
को
not used our buddhi for a long time, so it has become weak. Anything that you do not use for a long time, it becomes weak. If you have a knife, you do not use it regularly, it will get rusted. Similarly, we have not used our intelligence, and even if we use it just to satisfy our
वो
mind.
बुद्धि का प्रयोग करना है,
So you have to use your intelligence.
अध्याय में भगवान आगे जाके कहेंगे
In this chapter, later Bhagavan will say
मनसस्तु परा बुद्धि, मन से परे बुद्धि है,
that buddhi is beyond the mind.
उपयोग
So you have to properly use your
कर
buddhi.
रहे हैं उसका,
We misuse our buddhi a lot.
संसार में बुद्धिमान कहते हैं ना, वो उनके अंदर बुद्धि है लेकिन उसका
In
दुरुपयोग
this world also we say so many people are intelligent, but what intelligence is that? They use it just for artha and kama,
उपयोग
to get wealth and to satisfy lust. So here what we understand, we have to use buddhi as per Bhagavan is teaching, Adhyatma Chetasa, to follow that.
होंगे आप
That will is real stability.
स्थिरता ढूंढ रहे हैं,
The stability that you are searching in the external objects in the world, that stability is never possible because the objects are ever changing.
बदल जाएगा,
Everything is transforming. People change, relations change.
सब कुछ नित्य है,
Everything is temporary.
संभव नहीं है, लेकिन वहीं पे आदमी स्थिरता
So stability is not possible
वो कभी होने वाली नहीं है,
with external objects in this world. And searching stability with these which as external objects, that is foolishness.
बोलिए।
नारायण जी कृपया अपना प्रश्न पूछिए।
Pranam Guru Maharaj. Am I audible?
Yes.
Guru Maharaj, my question is about the bhav aspect that you discussed today. So the question is this: so when we take to many people who take to spiritual life, they take because they are, as you said, they are either disturbed or their attachment is to things which have only brought them grief. And it is seen whether it is in love or job or wherever. But I have also noticed, even in spirituality, let's say you get up in the morning, you do your Mangalarti, you do your chanting, maybe you do fantastic, you do a lot of reading, and you get a certain happiness. But that happiness is also coming from the mind only. How am I to know that the happiness is coming from the mind or is it coming from the soul? And the reason I'm asking the question is because our goal is not happiness, our goal is service. And how do I know the happiness that I feel by doing sadhana is not really just another vritti of the mind?
तो पहली बात तो ये है आपको
So,
समझनी है
answer,
कि
first of all, you have
चाहे वो
to
स्पिरिचुअल हैप्पीनेस
understand whether it is
कि
spiritual
आध्यात्मिक
happiness
हो, चाहे विषय से
or
प्रसन्नता है,
happiness due to the
तो
objects.
उसका अनुभव आपको मन से ही होगा,
That experience will happen in the mind only.
ये नहीं है।
You do not have any other instrument
जितना भी सुख
to
दुख है, चाहे
feel the
वो
happiness or distress,
लौकिक है,
whatever it is, whether it is worldly happiness, distress,
आप अपने मन से
or
उसका ही अनुभव करेंगे,
spiritual, you will experience it in through the mind only,
मन ही है।
because the instrument for experiencing
तो
is
कैसे
the
पता
mind
चलेगा
only.
कि ये आध्यात्मिक
Now the
है
question is, how do you
या
understand whether it is spiritual or it is material?
उसको लिए तो मैं इतना ही कह सकता
For
हूँ
that, I can only say this much, that
जब एक बार आता है तो फिर वो आता
spiritual
ही है,
happiness, when it enters,
तो फिर जाता
it
नहीं
enters, it does not go away, it becomes permanent.
जो भौतिक है वो
And the material one, it comes and goes.
गेस्ट जैसे होता है ना, खाए पिए
Like there is a guest comes, he stays for some time and he goes away.
ऐसी चीजें
And when the guest
जो हम नहीं
leaves,
चाहते हैं।
he keeps something in the home
इसका
which you
दूसरा
do not
परिणाम
want,
दुख होता है, जो
meaning
होता है।
dukha.
भौतिक सुख का परिणाम
So
दुख
material
होता है,
happiness results in misery
हमेशा।
always.
ये ध्रुव
This
सत्य है,
is
नियम है,
solid truth.
और आध्यात्मिक सुख का परिणाम दुख
But
नहीं है,
spiritual happiness does not result in
आध्यात्मिक सुख
misery.
स्थायी है।
Spiritual happiness is permanent.
तो उसी से आप
So with that only
समझ
you can
सकते हैं।
understand.
Can I ask one more question, Guru Maharaj?
हाँ हाँ बोलिए भाई, पूछिए, हमको बताने के लिए बैठे हैं।
Thank you. So thank you for explaining. But one of the problem I have with accepting that answer is that the mind as an instrument is like a pot which is filled with liquor. You know, even if you clean it 100 times, it is still a pot which has been stained with the liquor. So my question is, we are experiencing, as you said, even the adhyatmic sukh only from the lens of the mind, and the mind itself is unstable. So and it is seen that many times when we do sadhana, some days you wake up, you do the sadhana, you feel good. Some days you do the chanting and you feel miserable because you are not able to concentrate or you are not able to do anything. How does a sadhaka move beyond this and stay fixed in the fact that this is something that we have to do regardless of how the mind responds? Because otherwise the change of bhav is never going to happen. It is only going to be the bhava change is going to be completely pivoted on the state of mind. And I cannot accept that that is how the bhava will continue on in subsequent lives. You know, so this has been a fundamental doubt of mine.
तो आप जो है ना थोड़ी खिचड़ी पका रहे हो,
So what is happening? You are cooking khichdi
आपके मन में
with all different
भ्रम है,
ideas. That's why you have this bewilderment in the mind.
आध्यात्मिक सुख का अनुभव करते हैं, फिर
The
उसके
mind with which you
जो
experience the spiritual
गतिविधियां हैं,
happiness, that mind,
जो गंदगी है वो नहीं रहती है,
the liquor and
साफ हो
whatever
जाती है,
you said,
और
the
दोबारा से फिर
mind will not
वैसा
have
नहीं
those
होता है।
impurities. It is already cleaned.
तो वो ऐसा नहीं है कि आज इससे आध्यात्मिक सुख हुआ, कल इससे भौतिक
Not
सुख
that
हुआ,
today you experience spiritual happiness,
शांति
tomorrow
से
material happiness. It does not happen like that.
सदूरता दिग्गतम वस्तु कथम इंद्रियम अवाप्नुयात्। तो जिस मन से आपको आध्यात्मिक सुख की अनुभूति होती है, फिर उसका
The mind with
भौतिक
which
सुख से कोई
you
रुचि नहीं।
experience spiritual happiness, once you experience that, you will have no interest in material happiness. That mind will be totally cleaned.
मार्जनम,
That's what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
वो
says.
वर्जित हो जाता है,
Chaitanya Darpana
उससे जो
Marjanam.
आध्यात्मिक
it is already cleaned up, then only you experience spiritual happiness. As long as it is unclean, how will you experience spiritual happiness through that mind? Both are different things. Both types of happiness have to be understood separately. And that happiness, spiritual happiness, will happen only when you get the bhav. That is cleaning. So when we say purification of heart, cleaning, what purification? Change of bhav only. What else is that? Now we have kam bhav, then there will be bhakti bhav, that is cleaning of mind, purification. Both don't stay together.
जहाँ राम वहाँ काम नहीं, जहाँ काम नहीं वहाँ राम.
Tulsidas ji says that where there is Ram, there is no Kama. Where there is Kama, there is no Ram.
तुलसी एक जगह नहीं बैठ सकते हो, जैसे प्रकाश और छाया एक साथ नहीं रहते.
Just like light and shadow cannot be at the same place. Similarly,
तो मन की शुद्धि हो जाएगी, फिर ये अशुद्धियाँ
when mind is cleaned, then these impurities will not remain there. It will not be flickering. It will be stable.
गंगा स्वयंबुधौर्यता, मन की गति अविच्छिन्न. अविच्छिन्न माने बगैर किसी ब्रेक.
The mind will be like a river which flows without any obstacle.
मन भी स्थिर हो जाता. तेल धारा,
Mind will be totally stable,
तेल एक
like the flow of oil. How if you pour oil from one vessel to another, it the flow continues without interruption. So mind will be like that. Then mind loses the flickering nature. In Gita, Bhagavan said that
असंशयम महाभागो चंचलम मन चंचलम अस्थिरम. कहते हैं हाँ, मन जो है चंचल और अस्थिर है, लेकिन अब
yes, I agree that mind is flickering, but if you practice, it will get stabilized. Then you experience that happiness. So that's why I said once you experience that, it will not go away.
क्यों जाएगा?
Why shall it go away?
Thank you.
प्रणाम बाबा जी. तो यहीं पे इसी कॉन्टेक्स्ट में बाबा जी, हमने देखा ना चेहरे पर कपड़े पर जो भी लगेगा तो हमको गुस्सा नहीं आता है कोई बोला तो.
So
और
question, as you said that if somebody indicates a stain on our clothes or face, we do not become angry. But if somebody talks about mind,
पर जब मन में jealousy,
we become angry.
इन सारी चीजों को खुद का गलतियां मानते हैं, क्योंकि खुद को एसोसिएट कर लेते हैं माइंड के साथ. तो इसीलिए
So
ना
is it because we associate ourselves with the mind, that's why we become angry? The answer, yes, that is one reason. But another reason is that face is seen by everyone, and you actually want to present yourselves nicely. But what is in your mind, others cannot see.
तो पड़ा रहे. और दूसरा, उसको सफाई करने में कष्ट होता है.
And cleaning the mind involves a lot of pain.
और तीसरा वही जो आप कह रहे हैं,
And third is, yes, what you said, that we associate ourselves with the mind, our adhyas, our abhiman.
मन आत्मा जो है मन के ज्यादा पास में है.
Atma is nearer to the mind compared to the gross body,
सूक्ष्म शरीर है,
because the mind is the subtle body.
बाहर है,
So the gross is outside the subtle.
साथ में ज्यादा घनिष्ठता है,
That's why Atma has
उसके साथ में ज्यादा तादाद.
closer friendship with the mind. There is more tadatmya with the mind.
कोई बोलता है
That's why when somebody attacks something inside our mind, we become angry. So body, we say a body is ours, not me. But for mind, ahankar, we say it is me only.
फॉर एग्जांपल
Next, another question. For ahankar, we hear many things. So
ओबीसेंस ऑफर करना, कुछ एनवायरनमेंट्स में ओबीसेंस ऑफर करना को रेस्पेक्ट किया जाता है, पर वही दिल से नहीं करते हैं हम. वहां भी कभी कभी रेस्पेक्ट के लिए
in many cases, we offer obeisances or respect
ऑफर करना,
in some environment
तो हम ईगो के साथ
or
एसोसिएट कर लेते हैं.
do more mala. But we associate it with ego, that I offer so many obeisances, I do so much mala. But in other environment, we don't do that.
ओबीसेंस का बात ही नहीं है उधर. एटीट्यूड में हमको आया नहीं है मतलब ओबीसेंस करना, बट वो एनवायरनमेंट को देख के जैसा आपने
We
बताया,
just do that being influenced by the environment, not
से कोई का इस
from
environment
heart.
आप जेलस हो तो गुस्सा नहीं आता है. इट्स इजी टू एक्ट not to actually understand the principle of it. पर कभी कभी हमको ये ग्रैटिट्यूड का बात भी कहा आपने, when we are इतना चल रहा है शरीर का, हम खुद नहीं चला रहे, हार्ट हो, ब्रीथ हो, then बहुत सारी चीज़ हो, पर बाबा जी यहाँ कुछ हम गलत नहीं कर, मतलब गलत नहीं, एक पॉइंट पे मुझे ये भी लगा, तो क्यों इसके ऊपर क्यों ग्रैटिट्यूड दिखा रहा हूँ, क्योंकि मेरा अटैचमेंट इसके ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा है, क्योंकि शरीर के ऊपर अटैचमेंट ज़्यादा है, शरीर भगवान ने दिया तो भगवान की तरफ ग्रैटिट्यूड है, तो यहाँ हम एक्चुअल उसको दूर नहीं जा रहे बाबा जी, मतलब एक पॉइंट के बियॉन्ड
दूर मतलब
ग्रेटिट्यूड किसके लिए दिखा रहे, कोई मनी देता है हमको, अरे
If
मनी
somebody is giving me money, money is very important for me, I will remain grateful to him. Answer here, what gratitude you are telling? We just have to understand that it belongs to him only.
ग्रेटिट्यूड इसलिए दिखाना कि दिखाइए क्योंकि सब कुछ उन्हीं का ही है.
ओके
So you can show gratitude, but the thing is, everything, we, including myself, everything belongs to him.
लगता है हमको, पर ग्रेटिट्यूड भी मेन उद्देश्य नहीं है.
उसमें भी अहंकार आता है.
हाँ,
ये अहंकार जो
Gratitude is not the main thing, because you may be proud of your gratitude also. As you said, many times people offer obeisances so that others see that I am offering pranam. And many times we don't do
दोनों में अंतर नहीं है.
that. Why should I do pranam? That, so there is no difference in giving pranam and not giving pranam, because both are out of ahankar.
अहंकार प्रणाम नहीं कर रहा. अहंकार आपका शरीर
Your ahankar is only your body is doing pranam. Your ahankar is not bowing down. Ahankar is standing tall, straight.
प्रणाम कर रहा हूँ.
You just want to show others that, see, I am doing pranam.
ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग के बिना
तो ऐसा है ना, तो देखो इतने बड़े महाराज तो प्रशंसा करते हैं ना लोग, देखो इतने बड़े महाराज आगे
Like people praise that, see, such a big Maharaj, he is sweeping.
अगली बार जब रथ यात्रा होगी तो दूसरा महाराज भी झाड़ू लेके
So next time in the Rath Yatra, the other Maharaj, he will also bring the broom to sweep. So his goal is not to sweep. The goal is to
लोग झाड़ू लगा रहे हैं, आप महाराज हैं तो भाई इनको ऐ झाड़ू लगाओ, आप करो. वहां आप थोड़े लगाएंगे, वहां रथ यात्रा के सामने तो आप लगाएंगे.
in front of Rath Yatra, you will do sweeping. Will you do sweeping inside your room? There do you ask that this is Bhagwan's room, I should sweep? So it is all ahankar only.
हाँ, अहंकार दूसरी तरह से वो थोड़ा चालाक अहंकार है और ये थोड़ा स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड अहंकार है. और कोई अंतर नहीं. तो बहुत प्रकार से हमारा अहंकार काम करता है,
Our ahankara works in various ways,
समर्पण नहीं करने देता है.
and this ahankar does not allow us to surrender.
कौन होता है?
Even if we surrender, ahankar stands tall.
मैं पहले क्या था, मैं ये पास
People say,
थी, इतना
do you know who am I?
सब दे दिया. इसका मतलब अभी कुछ नहीं दिया.
I had so much, I gave up everything.
अगर दिया होता तो बोल क्यों रहा है?
Because if you actually gave up everything, why are you bragging about that? Giving up is easy.
त्याग करना वो बहुत कठिन है.
Giving up is easy, but to give up the ahankar of giving up, that is very difficult.
अहंकार है
So you give up, but you have not given up the ahankar of giving up. That ahankar is still in your pocket. That you are not going to give up. And you will glorify yourself everywhere. Do my podcast, write my biography, write everywhere that I gave up so much.
कुछ नहीं त्याग किया.
So actually he has not given up everything. He is simply reaping the dividend, the profit of giving up what he gave up earlier.
दूसरी गाड़ी यहाँ में
Now he is getting the interest out of that. He is taking benefit.
करेंगे और फिर मेरा यहाँ आदर करेंगे, फिर अब मेरे को
People will praise me. Now whatever facilities I gave up, that I will get here.
त्यागना आसान है लेकिन त्याग
So giving up is easy, but giving up the ahankar of giving up, that is very difficult.
तो ये बड़ी डीप साइकोलॉजी है, वैदिक साइकोलॉजी ये है.
This is deep psychology. This is Vedic psychology. It doesn't leave you.
बड़ा ये रखा है इसको.
It is, we have, it is holding us very tightly. It is our very close friend.
कोई क्लास में आपने बताया मन नेचुरल स्थिति पे वो शांति है, हम तो गड़बड़ किया है ऐसे, तो मन तो
सत्व का है ना, सांख्य के अनुसार
According to Sankhya, mind comes from sattvic ahankar. So sattva is peaceful.
Nancy.
धीर ललित जी कृपया अपना प्रश्न पूछें.
Radhe Radhe, Babaji. Thank you for the class. Babaji, you made it amply clear that the purpose of scripture or sadhana is not to teach. And at the same time, we are living in this world and we are surrounded by people, and then we are trying to get to the truth ourselves. And sometimes we get a glimpse, we get fortune, so bhagya that we meet the right people. But simply telling them that just engaging them in Bhagwan Seva, whatever you do, do it for Bhagwan. Then there are many organizations saying that come and do it at our doorstep, come and do it at our doorstep. We are the right ones, we are the right ones. So we who are affiliated to our sampradaya, and that what would be the best way to get across to people that what constitutes surrender and how they should go about doing, bringing about realistic or proper results. Because as you said, we cannot really change anybody. So what would be the right conduct for us in order to actually bring people to our sampradaya?
यही तो बड़ी समस्या है भैया. आप
So
क्यों
this
अपने
is the
संप्रदाय में
main
भेज
problem.
आप उनको भगवान के लिए लाओ. संप्रदाय छोड़ो.
You bring him for Bhagavan, forget about all this sampradaya and all that leads to fighting.
तो आपको उस व्यक्ति का कल्याण है उसको, या आप उसको अपने संप्रदाय
You
में
want to benefit that person or you just want to bring him to your own sampradaya? That is what you have.
कल्याण के बारे में सोचते हैं या अपने
Are
संप्रदाय
you actually interested in uplifting him or just want to increase your sampradaya?
बुद्धि भेदम जनिएदा.
So this whole problem begins from there only.
संप्रदाय
Bhagavan is not talking about any sampradaya and all that here in Gita. Bhagavan is purely talking about how to benefit the Jiva. So remain in whatever sampradaya you are. What is the problem? But you accept it properly and follow.
उस संप्रदाय
Bhagavan is one only. That other sampradaya also is same Bhagavan what we have. So what is our problem? But if you are doing, if he does his sadhana properly, if he understands the goal of life properly, that is nice. Why do you get into all these sampradaya issues?
Would it be a flaw on our side? Because as we said, there are people out there who are professing to be giving the teachings of sampradayas, yet they are not. And then some people are being misled and disturbed. So would it be wrong for us to actually point it out to them if they are interested, and what would be the right way to do that?
अरे कोई आपसे आके पूछता है तो आप बताइए उसमें क्या है.
The point, if somebody comes and asks you, then you answer. But why do you have to knock everybody's door and say that, see, I have so much knowledge, you listen from me? That is what Bhagavan is forbidding. That don't go around disturbing others. If somebody actually comes to you and he wants to take some knowledge from you, you give that knowledge. And if somebody is going somewhere else, what is our problem? Have we taken up the responsibility of reforming the whole world? It is not our job. That is what Bhagavan does. He comes for doing dharma sthapana. It is not our job to reform everybody, but our job is to reform ourselves. That is our responsibility. That is our duty. If I can reform myself, then naturally I can reform somebody else also. So we should not get into all this sampradaya fighting, sampradaya politics and all that. It simply wastes our time and then we become deviated from the original goal.
अनुश्री जी का प्रश्न है, ज्ञान
Next
हृदय
question.
ग्रंथि को भेदता है और कर्म ज्ञान होने से कम हो जाता है.
Jnana pierces the knot in the heart and
ऐसे में ज्ञान और कर्म फिर कैसे एक ही
karma.
स्थान पर रह सकते हैं?
ये समझना कि ज्ञान जो है, ज्ञान से कर्म कम
You have to understand, when you say jnana, karma reduces by having jnana, this is wrong understanding. Bhagavan has told earlier also, I also said,
अवाप्तम अवाप्तव्यम वर्त एव च कर्मणि.
Bhagavan says that I do not have to attain anything. who can be a bigger Jnani than Bhagavan?
लेकिन वो कहते हैं
But Bhagavan says that I am always engaged in action.
वो कभी देखा आप भगवान
Have you ever seen Bhagavan taking any holiday?
कभी सुना कि भगवान समर वेकेशन
Does he take any vacation?
सुना है ऐसे आपने?
Have you heard?
या उनका संडे को हॉलीडे हो गया ऐसे वो ईसाई धर्म में कहते हैं कि भगवान ने 6 दिन बनाया किया हमारा भगवान तो
So
ऐसे
Bhagavan is always working. Even if he is lying in yoga nidra, he is still active. Lying down also he is active. Universes are coming out of him.
तो ऐसा ये समझ ये ज्ञान मार्ग ये समझ है
This is the understanding of one Gyan Marg. One Gyan is that Brahma Gyan,
फिर करना किसके लिए है
that everything is Brahma, why do I have to do anything? Other is the Bhakti Gyan.
जितना ज्यादा ज्ञान
So here, the more knowledge you have in Bhakti, the more you will work because you understand more deeply that I am Bhagavan's servant. So servant will not sit idly. Servant will always be active.
तो जितना आपके अंदर ये ज्ञान होगा कि मैं दास हूँ
So the more you have the knowledge that I am a das or a dasi, the more you will do seva. So rasa is in seva only.
मूड हो दास्ताम प्राप्य प्राभवम पदम इच्छति हनुमान जी कहते हैं कि वो कौन
Hanumanji says that who is that fool who after becoming a das will try to become the master. Only a fool can think like that.
आपने बताया कि लोग दो प्रकार से प्रणाम दे सकते हैं, किसी को बताने के लिए और लोग वो प्रणाम नहीं देते हैं। तो जो किसी को बताने के लिए प्रणाम देते हैं, इसमें कोई बेनिफिट होता है?
So you told about two ways of giving pranam.
लोगों को पता चलता है ना कि प्रणाम दे रहा है
So why there is no benefit? Others understand that I am doing pranam.
उनकी चिंता होती है ना कि देखो लोग मेरी प्रशंसा कर रहे हैं मेरे को प्रणाम
So you feel happy that see people are glorifying me. I am doing pranam.
प्रणाम करता है और उनके लिए कोई बेनिफिट होती है उसका आध्यात्मिक पाठ
उसके लिए वो कर ही नहीं रहा तो कैसे हो जाएगा उसके लिए थोड़े प्रणाम कर रहा है वो क्या इसलिए प्रणाम कर रहा है कि मैं भगवान को प्रणाम कर रहा हूँ
Is he doing pranam to actually to Bhagavan that I am Bhagavan's dasa? He is doing pranams because he wants others to see. So if you are, so you get the result according to your objective. He is not doing pranam to Bhagavan, so how will he get that result? He is doing pranam public to see, so he'll get result accordingly.
जिस विषय में उसकी इसी के लिए वो कर रहा है जहाँ इच्छा होती है वहीं आसक्ति होती है
Wherever is your desire, you have attachment towards that, you get result accordingly. So his desire is that others should glorify me.
तो वो इसका फल हो जाएगा
और एक दूसरा प्रश्न है, मैंने ये सही से सुना नहीं, मैं सुन नहीं पाई। आपने बताया कि तीन प्रकार के कर्ता है और
You
एक
said that there are three types of karta. One is prayojak and prayojya. So the third one is swatantra karta.
विलास जी का प्रश्न है,
Next
क्या आप
question.
सलाह दे सकते
Can you give advice on
ऐसे
how to
लोगों
accept
को
criticism from
को कैसे
people
स्वीकार करें
who themselves have flaws and get pleasure from criticism?
जब मैं
When I am in a more sattvic state, it is easier.
क्या आप कोई
Are there other tips you can share?
जैसे आप किसी डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं आपको बुखार है
Answer. So like you go to a doctor, a fever,
और आप किसी डॉक्टर के पास गए
and you go to a doctor
डॉक्टर को भी बुखार है
and the doctor also has
तो आप कहेंगे
fever.
इसकी दवाई नहीं लूंगा
So you say I will not take medicine from this doctor because the doctor himself also has fever.
नहीं अगर वो डॉक्टर आपको दवाई दे रहा है और आपके
If the doctor is prescribing you medicine, you will be relieved of that fever. How does that matter whether that doctor has fever or no?
किसका बुखार उतारना चाहते
What do you want? You want to get rid of your fever or the other one?
कुछ कमियां हैं
So
और वो आपकी कमी बता रहा है
let there be defects in the other person. If he is pointing your defects to you,
आपका उत्तरदायित्व
you should focus on
कमी ठीक करने का है उसकी
reforming yourself.
ये तो मैंने कहा कि
Your goal is not to reform that other person. That's why I said, have we taken the responsibility of reforming everyone in this world? We are not Bhagavan.
हम अपनी कमी दूर करने उतना कम है
If we can reform ourselves, that will be a lifetime achievement. This is the greatest wonder in this world. People say 7 wonders in the world. There is
एक ही आश्चर्य है
only one wonder.
कि
That
आप
is,
अपने अहंकार को भगवान की सेवा में लगा दें।
you engage your ahankara in the service of Bhagavan. There is the only wonder. All the other wonders that you are telling that people glorify, they are just expression of people's ahankara. So what is great in that?
सृष्टि जी कृपया अपना प्रश्न पूछें।
दंडवत प्रणाम बाबा जी। एक जगह बोला जाता है राधा रानी
So,
को कि
question,
वो
it is said,
क्षमा कुला। तो जैसे आपने लास्ट लेक्चर बोला था कि हमारा छोटा वाला अहंकार, जीव का अहंकार एक बड़े वाले हार्डवेयर में रम रहा है।
so as you said that our small ahankar, it is moving in a hardware. That small ahankar, is it,
निकल सकता है ये बड़े वाले
can
हार्डवेयर
it
से?
come out without his sanction?
नहीं, उनके सैंक्शन के बगैर तो नहीं
Answer,
की बात
without Bhagavan's sanction nothing is possible, but if you follow Bhagavan's teachings, with his mercy it will come out, but first you have to understand what he says and then you have to follow.
तो ये जो इल्यूजन है अहंकार का,
So question, this illusion of ahankara,
करने के बावजूद भी अगर ना हट रहा हो,
if we after doing everything still it is not coming out, so is there any defect from our side?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल त्रुटि है।
Answer, yes, definitely there is some defect
मार्जित नहीं होगी
in
तब तक
your understanding or what you are doing. Unless you remove that defect, you will not get the result.
is that a fault or is it an imposition?
So a question is ahankara fault or imposition? So answer,
समस्या बताता हूँ मैं।
let me tell you what is the problem.
एक हमारी
We,
आत्मा है,
the atma is there. Atma has its own aham bhav. Atma has its aham,
वो
that is
आत्मा
real.
मैं
I am atma. What is wrong in that, in saying like that?
एक
One is the ahankara of prakriti.
प्रकृति से महत्त्व
From prakriti comes mahatattva and then the ahankar, that is called ahankar tattva. It is one of the 24 material elements.
से फिर मन बुद्धि
Then from there mind, intelligence, etc., all these come out.
ये जो कहते हैं
So the hridaya granthi, which is said chit jad granthi, it basically means that my own ahankar of the atma, I have superimposed it on the material ahankar. Adhyas means to sit on top of something, like we have asan,
तो अध्यास का मतलब अधिमान है,
means to sit on that.
तो उसके ऊपर
So the ahankar of the atma is sitting on top of the material ahankar. Like you sit on the horse and you start thinking I am the horse. When you sit inside the car and think I am the car.
कुछ ऐसा बोलते हैं हम अपने, जैसे मानो आप कार से गए किसी जगह 300 किलोमीटर चल के गए,
So like you ride the car and you go 300 kilometers. So you say went 300 kilometers. So it was actually the car that went. But you are inside the car.
अपनी आत्मीयता है, तादात्म्यता बना के तब आप ऐसा बोलते हैं।
So you kind of establish oneness and then you speak like that.
करते हैं, लेकिन शरीर के विषय में तो हम सोचते हैं कि मैं ये शरीर ही हूँ।
But with in case of the body, you think that you are the body only, and the material ahankar inside the body, then there is no difference between that material ahankar and your ahankar of the atma, because now you have superimposed it. You think like that. And the quality of that material ahankar is it always wants to be number one. It does not want to bow down in front of anybody.
उसमें से एक जो गुण है
It has many other qualities, but one of the most
डाल दिया है,
important quality of that ahankar. So like you have superimposed your ahankar on that. So one is, it is like if you mix water in the milk or you mix till in the rice. Another is mixing water in milk. So if you mix water in milk, you cannot differentiate water and milk.
कहते हैं कि एक हंस ऐसा
It is said generally that there is a swan which can differentiate water from milk. There is no such swan in this world. It has never happened. It is just a way of telling.
कभी प्रौढ़ होती है कुछ नहीं,
It's a poetic way of speaking. There is no hamsa that can separate milk from water.
तो परमहंस इसलिए उसको बोलते हैं कि भाई
That
वो
person is called Paramhansa because he has the sense of discrimination.
अभी दोनों मिल
That
गए,
what is spiritual, what is material. Now both have joined together and sitting tightly. And becoming one does not mean that the other ahankar will listen to this,
इसी ने उसमें तादात्म्य किया है,
because it is the ahankar of Atma which has done the tadatmya. Adhyarop is from both sides, that is a different subject. But now you understand this much, that the ahankar of Atma is sitting on the material ahankar. So now that material ahankar does not want to bow down. It is ready to break its back, but it won't come down. It's ready to cut off its head, but it will not bow down.
तो इसको कितने बड़े भाव से हम गाते
So
हैं,
we speak with so much pride that I will not bow down. I am ready to cut off my head. So the song is true because that is the material ahankar, because the person is ready to sacrifice, cut off his head, so that his nameplate will be there even after death.
अहंकार
Ahankar is like that.
कि अपने को भी
It can
बलिदान करना चाहता
sacrifice
है, लेकिन खुद जीवित रहता है
everything to remain alive.
करके भी, हालांकि बलिदान करके क्या जीवित
Although what will remain alive
ये अहंकार की मूर्खता है, ऐसे
after
सोचना,
it dies,
तू मर गया,
but it is the foolishness of the ahankar who is coming to check. It is just a nameplate or a statue or something.
लेकिन
But there are many people like this who think like in this way, that even after death my name should be there.
यस्य स जीवति,
My name and fame should live forever.
कीर्ति है वो जीवित रहता है, इसलिए लोग ऐसे काम कर, वो इसलिए कहा गया कि आप अच्छे काम करो, जब आप मर गए तो मर ही गए, उसमें
So
जीवित ही
people
क्या है?
speak like this so to encourage others so that they should do good work in the society.
ठीक है, उसके बाद एक चीज दिमाग में आया कि अहंग भाव जो आप बोल रहे कि हम जबरदस्ती अपने आप को आरोपित कर रहे हैं
So
प्रकृति
question,
पे,
as you said, that we are superimposing or ahankar on the ahankar of prakriti.
जबरदस्ती
Answer, no, we are not doing it forcefully. This is anadi avidya.
ये हमने कुछ सोच समझ
We have
कर
not
नहीं
done
किया
it consciously.
तो
It is since beginningless time.
माया के कारण है, इसलिए भगवान यही तो बात
This
बोलते हैं,
avidya is due to Maya.
मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते माया में ताम तरन्ति थे, जो मेरे
That's why
शरण आके
Bhagavan says
मिलेगा
that
वो
one who takes my shelter, Maya will
के कारण ये अद्भुत
leave. This is due to Maya. We cannot give it up by our own power.
इसलिए उनके
That's why it is utmost important to take shelter of
जो
Bhagavan.
चीज आप अहंकार जिसको बोल रहे हैं, ये अहंकार is us loosely translating प्रमाद to अहंकार, तो कि हम पागलपन में जो सोच रहे कि मैं कर रहा हूँ ये प्रमाद है, और आप जो सटल वाला अहंकार बोल रहे कि जीव का एक रहता है कि मैं हूँ करके, वो और एक अहंकार है, जस्ट क्लैरिफाई।
हाँ, उसको अहंकार नहीं बोलते, उसको
But that
बोलते
is
हैं,
not called ahankar, that is called aham bhav.
थैंक यू, नमस्कार।
ठीक है, चलो ले लो, उनको भी ले लो।
संदीप जी कृपया अपना प्रश्न पूछिए।
प्रणाम बाबा जी महाराज। मैं बहुत शॉर्ट में ये बोल रहा हूँ कि अभी आपने जैसे बताया कि
So question,
गीता में कहा गया कि
as you said now that in Gita,
बुद्धि को सर्वश्रेष्ठ कहा गया, उसी से हम सब बदल
buddhi
सकते हैं।
is told to be the
भागवत में सांख्य
beyond
की चर्चा
mind.
होती है, तो मन को सतोगुण में और
In
बुद्धि को
Bhagavat,
रजोगुण
when Sankhya is discussed, mind is told to be in rajas.
बुद्धि और ये मन, तो हम समझते हैं कि सत्वगुण ऊपर है रजो से।
So if sattva gun is above rajas, then this, how does this dichotomy happen?
वर्णाश्रम पढ़ाई होगा,
So answer, you must have studied varnashram. The king is kshatriya or brahman, but the king rules or the brahman rules.
तो नियंत्रण करने के लिए आपको रजस चाहिए, सत्व
So in order to control, in order to rule over, you need rajas. Sattva will just give knowledge and sit quietly.
नियंत्रण के लिए रजस चाहिए। चलो दूसरा
प्रश्न है, महातत्व को
Question,
बुद्धि भी
if Mahatattva is called buddhi, then has ahankar come from buddhi?
हाँ, महत्त्व को बुद्धि हमारी
Yes, In Bhagavat, we don't say Mahatattva is Buddhi. Bhagavat Sankhya Buddhi is different.
बुद्धि को अलग तत्व नहीं मानते हैं, उसमें महत्व
The Sankhya in which Buddhi is not considered separate, they say Mahatattva is Buddhi. But according to Bhagavat, Buddhi comes from Ahankar.
तो ये थोड़ा भेद है।
So there is some difference in that.
लेकिन अगर आप जो कपिल सांख्य भागवत सांख्य से दूसरा निरीश्वर सांख्य
But if you consider the Kapil Sankhya, there is atheistic Sankhya, there it is said like that.
ठीक है, चलो प्रार्थना श्लोक। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपाल नंदनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्र गीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मंत्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयः स्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम् यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिर् ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांघ्रये भवे भवे यथा भक्तिः पादयोस्तव जायते तथा कुरुष्व देवेश नाथस्त्वं नो यतः प्रभो नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य सर्वपाप प्रणाशनं प्रणामो दुःखशमनस्तं नमामि हरिं परम् हरि ओम तत्सत्।